Okay, today we are going to be talking about your exponential growth project. This is how much does college cost? And you're going to be researching the cost of college tuition. You're going to find out that it's a lot. You're going to choose a couple of different colleges. So you're going to do at least two. And we're going to talk about what that means. So here is a slight overview of the project. My computer's being a little slow, so it jumped ahead. You will research two four-year colleges or universities. CEI is not a four-year college or university, so that cannot be one of them. But they need to be four-year colleges. Idaho State is a four-year college. University of Utah is a four-year college. BYU Idaho is a four-year college. Cambridge in England is a four-year college. Okay. You can choose any two four-year colleges as long as they meet these requirements. Okay. The requirements must be you must have one that is kind of close by and one that is a lot further away and going to be a little more extravagant. Okay. The next part of your project is you're going to determine how much it costs. For the purpose of this project, everybody is taking loans to pay for your college. And you're going to see how much loans cost. Okay. You will, it'll be based, you'll have to pick loans and figure out how much it's going to cost you to pay them each month and how many years it's going to take you to pay them off. Okay. So, a couple of the criterion, things that you should be learning. You are, number one, using appropriate forms of mathematical representation to present your information. And you must use coherent mathematical lines of reasoning. Okay. Hopefully a lot of you are thinking about going to college. Some of you might choose a shorter college. Some of you might choose more local ones. Some of you might want to go to that extravagant university that can maybe help you get a better job. Okay. But I want you to start thinking about the real life implications of exponential growth and interest that we've been talking about this week. Okay. We don't need the marks on here anymore. So, part one, this is what you're going to start on today. Where do you want to go to college? Some of you might already have ideas of this. Some of you might have no clue. You will pick two universities. One needs to be relatively local. So in Idaho or maybe one state away. So a lot of people chose universities in Utah last year. I don't think anybody chose any in Wyoming. But Wyoming would be fine. Montana would be fine. Nevada would be fine. Oregon and Washington are a little bit of a long ways from this part of the state of Idaho. But we're trying to do something kind of local, so it'll be a little cheaper. Okay. So we want one kind of cheap university and then something further away. It's got to be at least two states. So your second university, a lot of kids chose BYU Hawaii because who doesn't want to go to Hawaii? Somebody chose Cambridge. Somebody chose a university in Germany. A couple people chose ones on the East Coast. Somebody chose UCLA. Okay. I want something a little bit more extravagant. It's going to be more expensive so that you get an idea of what this more expensive looks like and how much more expensive is it. You will determine the cost of tuition per year, cost of living, spending money you will need just to, have fun and enjoy college and eat sometimes. So cost of living generally includes eating. A lot of colleges have a meal plan where they have a cafeteria and you just pay a certain amount and you just go to the cafeteria and get your food. You also have to pay for a place to live. Books, you can probably get a general idea if you know what you want to study. You might be able to get a little bit better idea, but you also have to buy all your textbooks in college. Guess what? Textbooks cost 100, 200, sometimes $300 a piece, and you might need 5 or 6 of them every semester or every quarter, depending on the school you go to. That becomes a big added expense. So then you'll add up all your expenses and figure out the total. So today, you should be working on this research here. Part 2. Because college is expensive, you're probably going to need to take a college loan. Hopefully some of you don't have to. But for the purpose of this project, you're taking college loans, okay? There are ways to get around them. I want everybody to see how much taking college loans is going to cost, how much you have to pay for how many years it takes you to pay off college loans. I'm hoping some of you it will motivate people to go try to get more scholarships or apply for financial aid or choose colleges that you can really afford so you don't have huge loans. Okay. So for the purpose of this, you get the total cost of your 4-year colleges. Everybody gets $5,000 a year that you can subtract from that cost. We're going to call it grants, scholarships. Okay, scholarships and grants are things that you don't have to pay back. The government gives some money, has some money for education to help people get higher education. Grants are based on parents' income. Scholarships are often given by private companies or private individuals to help people get education. And those you don't have to pay back. Those you get based on how you did in high school, how much you volunteered, being a part of a certain organization. Okay. Sometimes you can get a scholarship for sports. Guess what? You got to be pretty darn good to get a scholarship for sports. Like really darn good. Okay. You are allowed to work a job. So you can figure out how much you can work. Now, you probably can't work 40 hours a week while going to college, but you can work a job during the school year. You can figure out how much you can work. You need to figure out how much they'll pay you. You can potentially get a better job in the summer. Okay. So you get to figure out how much money you can earn at a job. You can subtract the money you earn from your total cost. You will then, if you go to a cheap enough college, you might be able to almost cover it with those. But I'm asking you to do a second university that's a little more extravagant, and you should not be able to cover it. So the rest of that's going to be in loans. We're going to assume you can get done with your college in 4 years. Some of you might take some classes for college credit while you're at Alturas or over the summer or through some other institution before you go to college. Then you might not have to go for 3 years, but for this project, you're going for 4 years. Okay. Everybody's going for 4 years. Now, if you don't do well in school, you might go like some of my friends for 8 years. Guess what they had to do? Pay for 8 years of college in their loans. Okay. As part of this, you will figure out one or more loan types for each school. If you click on this here thing, it'll tell you a little bit about the loans. The rates on this page are not current, so you don't get to use them. So click here. It's going to load this web page, which will talk about the types of college loans. There's deferred, there's interest rates, there's need-based, and there's subsidized. You can get federal direct unsubsidized, federal direct plus. Okay. You will have to figure those out. Research them, figure out which type you want. You probably want the one with the lowest rate that you can get. Okay? Because the higher the interest rate, the more you're going to have to pay off. The loan rates are not current. The current ones are on the next slide. The ones on the next slide are the ones you have to use. Include the following in your presentation. You will, at the end of this, make a presentation. The name of each loan you use, how much you need to borrow from each loan, how long it'll take you to pay off each amount, how much each month you are going to pay. Okay? You can't tell me you're going to pay $5,000 a month if you only have a job that pays $3,000. Okay? In fact, you probably can't tell me you're going to pay $5,000 a month. Most of you will not cut out of college and make that much, or will not make much more than that. You still have to pay for a house and to eat and for other expenses like a car. You need to know how much each loan will cost you in total. So if you take a loan for $100,000, you're most likely going to pay at least $200,000 total because you're paying interest. You're paying the bank money for them letting you use the money up front. Okay? All the calculations we've done have been with putting a certain amount of money in at the beginning and seeing it grow. Okay? What you're going to be doing this is you're going to be paying every month. So that calculation is a little more advanced. You're going to use this Desmos calculator here on the screen. I'm going to circle it in red. And the link is right here. And with that, it will help you do the calculations. I'm going to wait till everybody is far enough along, and then we will go through this together in a lesson. Okay? We're not going through that right now. I'm going to wait until you're far enough along. You must specify, though, in your presentation, everything you put into Desmos. You must specify everything that went into calculating how much you need to borrow in each loan. You must tell me which two computers you're using or which two colleges you're using. Okay? So your final part of this project is putting together a presentation. Okay? Here is your loan amounts. The interest rates are given right here. Again, you have access to this in the Exponential Growth Project, for the slideshow, the Desmos calculator, the links, and also the grading rubric. Make sure you take a look at the grading rubric so you know how you're going to be graded. Finally, you're putting together a presentation that you will present to everyone in Integrated 1 in your period. So third hour is presenting to Integrated 1 third period. Excuse me. You do not have to present to those in other levels. Does that make sense? Hopefully, there we go. So you need to create a slide for each college. You need to give me some interesting facts and reasons why you chose that college. You must present all the information for how much it costs, your loans, your payment plan, and you must have a minimum of 5 minutes presentation. Please do not go over, say, 7 or 8. I do not want somebody taking an entire class period presenting. Okay, the due date for turning in your presentation, I believe it says on this is May 9th. After that, we will start presentations. Not everybody will present each day because we don't have enough time in class to have everybody go each day. So it'll be spaced out over probably a week. Once you turn it in, you'll get assigned a day to present. Okay, that's your presentation. Go ahead and start on it.